Okay, I guess I wasn't going to say good morning, but it's afternoon. And you gentlemen are both 7th and 8th graders or 7th graders?
Just eight.
7th and 8th, okay.
Oh, she says a seven down?
Well,
Oh, okay.
thank you for your willingness to participate with the Gentlemen's Club of Central Middle School. As Mr. Johnson said, my name is Hank Thierry. I'm the immediate past president of the Alpha Phi Alpha chapter here in Galveston. So Alpha Phi Alpha, what is Alpha Phi Alpha? It's a long-standing, historic, predominant African-American college fraternity. So what does that mean? It means we've all gone to college, we've been very fortunate to earn college degrees, and we work in our community. Our community here is Galveston. So we have a couple of good people I want to introduce you. This is Mr. Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. He's worked with social services as a counselor, among many things, particularly with folks who get themselves in a little trouble and need to come out of that trouble by speaking with him as a parole officer. We have Mr. Leslie Burns. Mr. Burns is also a social service associate. He does a great deal of work with mental health and social work, both in the Houston and Galveston community. We have here, this young man here, believe it or not, is Dr. Pierre Banks. Dr. Banks is a faculty in the School of Medicine, and he does special considerations with medical students, working with medical students to make sure they're on the right track. The gentleman who's recording here is Mr. Ronald Johnson. He's a retired engineer. He's worked as an engineer, among many things, as a mechanical engineer. And again, my name is Mr. Thierry, and I'm going to be facilitating with you today. So,
And what do you do?
what do I do? I'm a lab rat. I look at blood in a microscope. That's what I do for a living. Yeah, I know. We help diagnose disease. So, I want to start out by asking you a couple of questions. If for some reason, and don't tell me the answer you think I want to hear, just be as honest as possible. If you did a job and a family member said you did a great job, I'm going to pay you $500. You got $500. What would you do with it? Yes, sir.
I play video games, right?
You play video games.
Down in 2 seconds.
It'll be gone in 2
On the
seconds.
video game.
You're on purchasing video games. What about you?
I use the money for stuff that I need, and I give the rest of it to charity.
Okay, you give the stuff that you need and you give the rest to charity. Very good. You were going to say something? So you do a job, you get $500. You play video games, so you make sure your video games are stocked. You would get the stuff that you need, and the rest you would give to charity. Okay, those are good answers. One of the things I want you to think about, you guys are in the 7th and 8th grade, and this is something, because we live in the United States, say if you watch television, or you do anything on the internet, whether you know it or not, major corporations are marketing to you without your knowledge. The easiest form of marketing would be a television commercial. So you say video games. Why do you play video games?
Like,
Huh?
it'd be boring in my house.
It's boring, so you have an opportunity to do something? Okay. Let's see. I'm going to make a guess. What's your favorite brand of tennis shoe? Yes, sir.
Sketchup.
Skechers? What, somebody said Jordan? Anybody else? What's your favorite brand of tennis shoe? Huh? Mackies? Nikes. Okay, very good. So, why would you choose one tennis shoe over another? Usually has to do something with some type of marketing. Somebody has convinced you, or us, and it happens to all of us, that this shoe is more appropriate or better for you to wear than something else. And what they'll do, they'll get this superstar athlete like Michael Jordan or LeBron James and say, he wears that shoe and you can be like him and wear that type of shoe. However, I want to propose to you, and we're going to come back in 2 weeks. We're going to be doing this every first and third Thursday of the month. So we're going to come back. I want you to think long and hard about whose money is it. Because when you have money, what you really have is freedom. You have the ability to choose what you wish to do. You don't have to spend your money on video games per se, I think you said it'll be gone in 2 seconds. But if it's gone in 2 seconds, what has happened? You have given your freedom, which is economic freedom,
Oh, wait.
to a video game corporation.
2 seconds.
In 2 seconds, as you said, those are your words.
On V-Bucks.
Huh?
On V-Bucks.
Okay.
V-Bucks.
But here's the deal. You have a choice. And as you grow as young men, and if you notice at our first session, we referred to you as young men because that's what you are. You are not children, you are not boys, you are young men. And very, very soon you will have to make decisions that men have to make. I have a resource. My resource may be clothing, it may be a motor vehicle, it may be shelter or rent. I have to put clothes on my back. I may be responsible for someone else. So the resource of having a financial resource will matter in terms of how you consume. And the decisions that you make in terms of how you consume are going to be based on what you value. So over the next 2 weeks, I want you to think really, really hard about what you really, truly value. Not what you like to do, but what really matters to you. Coming here to Central Middle School, getting an education, I would probably think is very important. I would think the teachers who teach you do a really good job. They too invest their time and effort because they value the fact that you will educate yourself. One of the things we value as members of Alpha Phi Alpha, we value education. Education and the degree of education and what you're able to do in terms of your skills leads to the ability to earn money for a living. And by earning money, you earn freedom. Does that make sense? Kind of? So, when we talk about consumerism, let's talk about skills. Many times when you work for an employer, they look at your skill set. There are certain skills, basic skills, essential skills, marketable skills. What do you think the difference is? What is a basic skill? A basic skill.
Tie your shoe.
Tie your shoe. Actually, you're actually right. The ability to self-motivate, to know, to get up, wake up in bed, shower, get dressed, and be somewhere at a certain time. That's a skill. Not everybody either wants to do that or chooses to do that. What is an essential skill?
What does essential mean?
Essential means something that is something you have to do to be functional. An essential skill is reading, arithmetic.
Shower.
Now we're back to basic skills. Basic skill, taking care of yourself is a basic skill. An essential skill is to be able to function. An essential skill is reading, writing, arithmetic, problem solving, able to see a greater depth in picture and a greater depth of understanding through problem solving and synthesis. That's an essential skill. So what's a marketable skill?
Life.
Sports is a marketable skill if you're good at sports. If you're the better you are at sports, the more marketable you are because then that marketing leads to something else. So that's good. But your level of consumerism and how you consume products.
They need to know what consume means.
If you consume, what does consume mean? You purchase items. Everything that we do to some degree has a cost to it. And you are in a position where you will have to consume based on what you're able to do. So consumerism is basically you choosing what you wish to do, having the economic freedom to make that choice. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So again, let's look, and what I want you to do, think back to that $500 example. You said you would take care of some of the things you need and then donate the rest to charity. Have you thought about a charity you wish to donate to?
Why would you doing cancer?
Why would you, did you hear that? What's your name, sir? Courtney. Courtney asked, why would you donate to charity?
He said Boys and Girls Club.
The Boys and Girls Club? Well, if you value what the Boys and Girls Club does, then yes, that's legitimate. If they are in a position to provide you with the resource and you value what they do, you then have the economic freedom to provide them with support. That's very good. That's thoughtful. You thought about where you would want to do, and then you make that choice.
I just let mine rack up.
You would like to save your money. That's not a bad choice either. Money, I want to leave you with this. Money is what we call an economic resource. But I'll make it a little easier. Money is freedom. When you have money, you have the freedom to make decisions, and you have that resource to carry out those decisions. And how you carry out those decisions will basically determine the type of consumer you become. Whether it be video games, whether it be taking care of your material needs and seeking out charity, all that is based upon how you decide to make those decisions. And trust me, these are decisions you will make every single day for the rest of your life, because what? Manhood never goes away. You're going to say something, Courtney? Do you have a question? Does anybody have any questions about that? Any comments? Any concerns? So in 2 weeks, what is our task? It's a very simple task. I want you to think about what really matters to you. It could be family, it could be religion, it could be the Boys and Girls Club, it could be sports, it could be the quality of education. And then when you think about what matters to you, this is what I want you to do. Think about how what matters to you will impact you in the future. And the reason why I say that, because we are the members of Alpha Phi Alpha. Some of you guys say, why are these old guys here? We're here not only as mentors, we're here to facilitate your best interest. We are here for your best interest. Whatever your best interest think you may be, we can offer that as a facilitation. Most of us here have been to college. We have wives, we have children, we have grandchildren, we own vehicles, we own our homes. We've been through some things in our lives that you will go through as you go through life, so that we can offer you the type of advice you may need. We can offer you anything that you may think you may not know moving forward. So again, our challenge to you over the next 2 weeks is to do what? Think about what matters most to you. Because in order to grasp the concept of being consumer, you have to know what matters to you. Because guess what? If you don't know what matters, what happens? You'll fall for anything. Somebody can be very charismatic and convince you that you need to drink a gallon of Kool-Aid every day because that's cool. And guess what? You'll do it because you haven't, there's some thought process here. And you guys know better. You guys have common sense. If somebody says, hey, I'm going to sell you some water out of the Gulf and it costs $1,000, you're going to say, no, come on, man. You're a hustler. So when you think about your life, where you are, your reality, think about what matters to you. And when you think about what matters to you, we can then move all of our mentoring sessions to your best interest. Whether it be banking, whether it be job employment, what does the future mean for you? And what we want that future to mean is to have an opportunity for you to be the best that you can be. And even if you don't know what the answers are, guess what? That's okay. It's okay that you don't know, but if you give time and thought to your circumstance, you'll move forward. Now, if you look at this, what is this? This is what we call a one-page leave behind. We're talking about mindless, we're talking about consumerism today. Well, we want you to read this. We developed this. This is what we call our curriculum for this mentoring session. So you can read this. This kind of gives you tips in terms of who we are, what we want you to carry away for. And the fact that you can read this helps in your literary skills. We want you to read this. We developed this for you. We want you to hold on to it. The young men that we have had mentoring sessions with before, they really couldn't wait to come here because they wanted to see what we had written for them. So please take this on behalf of, what is our organization?
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Alpha Phi Alpha. And what is Alpha Phi Alpha?
The African Americans.
It's an African American college fraternity. One of the first and one of the best, for sure. There are others that are very good as well, but we pride ourselves in our membership. Okay, are there any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. We got one more thing also. Are we done?
No, we don't.
Okay, we got a few more things.
How much time do we have left?
You have about 4 more minutes.
Okay.
No, we don't have time.
Okay,
Because they go straight to their class.
okay, you gotta go straight to your classes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I had him sign
we don't know your names. What's your name?
Cashton.
Cashin?
No, it's
Cashton.
Cashmo.
Cashmo is your nickname, Cashman? And what's your name,
Yes,
sir? Chris? Cashman?
Cashton.
That's
Kendrick. With a T-O-N.
Cashton.
Yeah.
Cashton, Chris, what's your name, sir? What's your name?
Donovan.
Donovan. Cashton, Chris, Donovan, what's your name?
Malik.
Malik. Cashton, Chris, Donovan, Malik, you're Courtney. What's your name?
Malcolm.
Malcolm. And what's your name? Marquell.
Rob.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Cashton, Chris, Donovan, Courtney, Malik, Malcolm, and McQuell. McQuell, Malcolm, Courtney, Malik, Malcolm, Malik, Chris, Markel. You're Courtney. You're Chris.
No, that's
I'm Chris.
Malik, Donovan,
Markel,
Chris,
Malcolm,
Look, it's Courtney, Malcolm,
Marquell,
Malik,
Malcolm,
Chris,
Courtney, Malik,
Donovan,
Donovan,
Chris,
Chris,
and
Cashton.
Cashton.
Okay, let me do this one more time. Cashton, Chris, Donovan, Malik, Courtney, Mark, Malcolm, Marquez. Got it.
Cashton, next time you come, you better bring Kendrick with you. Okay?
So thank you all for your time. And when you got next time, if some more folks come, we'll get to know them too.